In the previous story, we looked at the hospital reform process in general and how far we've come. As highlighted before, the hospital reform process largely looks at making hospitals independent from the Ministry of Health with the aim of improving planning, increasing ownership and accountability at hospital management level, and this will improve the service for the population served. Although there are still tasks waiting for completion, central hospitals can't wait to be autonomous.
I look forward to the reforms, and my colleagues within the hospital look forward to the reforms. We think it will be more efficient. We think by virtue of making most of the decisions locally within Queens, I think the patient at the end of all it will benefit. So how we get resources, how we appraise the human resource, all those things have an impact on patient care. And once this comes to Queens, decentralized to Queen Elizabeth, I think that will be a huge difference.
So it is the people at the central hospitals who know what is supposed to happen, who know what issues to be done, how it should be done. So to us as a central hospital, the hospital autonomy program was supposed to have come here yesterday. As you know, a few years back, Cabinet approved the process of hospital autonomy. But as of now, it has not yet been finalized.
Both central hospitals wonder why hospital reforms have never materialized in Malawi as they started during the Kamuzu era.
We are not pushing, we are not pulling strings, but we have been following up, and we are told soon the boards will be in place. I mean, some people have waited for this for a long time. I have people within Queens who tell me they started hearing about this over 20 years ago, yeah, and every time they are told soon. So when I tell them that the feedback from the central government is that very soon will become semi-autonomous, they laugh. They are justified because I've waited for long, but I think we're close.
There's been doubt from other sectors that the autonomy of the central hospitals may mean far much too little, but the hospital's directors think otherwise.
Again, this is what has scared some people. They think semi-autonomy is synonymous with paying service. It is not, but in the facilities we have what we call voluntary paying services. Yeah? So voluntary meaning if you come to Queens, you have a choice to go to the paying or the non-paying. When you have no money, it does not mean that you will not receive care within the hospital. Yeah? So what we want to do is to strengthen this and have more facilities for the paying services. As you can see, the population has outgrown the hospital. So units that used to be for paying services are now for free services to accommodate the growing population.
The issue is that the services that we provide are outweighed by the demand. Yeah, so the demand is too much. For example, you find that you have a ward with 100 patients, but there are only 2 nurses. Do you think those patients are going to be saved well? Well, that's the challenge that I think you when you're moving around, there's a lot of congestion. That talks for itself. So there's need for a lot of workers. Right? And yet we are told that the donors are against a very big wage bill.
Apart from budget control, the central hospitals are looking forward to management of the hospitals without bureaucracy, the power to fire and hire, and above all, to expand in both structure and service delivery.
What we think, though, is that after granting us a semi-autonomous status, will be much better places, will be more efficient, and the care going to the patient will also be much better.
Within this reform process, what we expect? Because the big challenge has been that Lilongwe doesn't have a district hospital. Right? Because Longa doesn't have a district hospital. The Cabo Central Hospital has been taken as a district hospital. But because of the challenges that are there in the system, you find that there are no drugs in the health centers. People know that there are always drugs here. People always come here. There are no staff, they close quickly. So what we would want is, first of all, this reform program cannot move on its own. It has to move together with the other reform program, the decentralization. What we expect the systems in the health centers to improve. That's the reason why we're always working hand in hand with the district health officer. We're even working hand in hand with them to see how they are working on them. A team from here, on Tuesday last week, they went to Mchinji, because as you know, there's a lot of COVID in Zambia, right? Where we've said, oh, I think because if Mchinji has a lot of problems, those problems will trickle here. So a team went here to supervise them and tell them what is supposed to do. So all in all, we're going to work together with the district health officer.